I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Council of the Village of Chase, held here in the council chambers at the village office, 826 Okanagan Avenue, and via Zoom, October 14th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Need a motion to adopt the agenda, but there's an amendment. We're going to remove 6.1, and staff has a couple of things.
Mr. Mayor and the rest of council, so we just have a couple of typos we want to bring to your attention. So on page 35, under the recommendation on the report, it should say that council proceed with first, second, and third reading of the 2026-27 permissive tax exemption bylaw. So rather than 2024, it's just basically a typo. And then on page, sorry?
Just make sure everybody's got it. Everybody.
Okay. Page 35?
Yeah.
Recommendation. The recommendation on the agenda itself is correct.
Did you get that, Councilor Connor? Yeah. You have
It
it?
should say 26-27. Because it's for the permissive taxes for the 26-27 taxation years.
Says 24, 25.
Yeah, it should say 26/27.
All right.
And then on page 37, under item 3, so that's the second page of the bylaw. So item 3, the last dates on there after the community charter for the year 2026 and 2027. Just a flick of the wrist there.
2075.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna go that long. 2026 and 2027.
Oh,
We're not allowed to go that far into the
Okay,
future.
is that it, CAO? That's
Yep,
it?
that's it.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we need a
Oh,
motion.
sorry.
Sorry?
Just one more small. It's 9.2 on the agenda page, on the yellow agenda page, 9.2. So what it says on the third line is December 31st
Ah,
of this year. So just add a year. Let me change the order. Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for catching that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eagle eyes, lips over there.
Everybody's got those? So now we need a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, is that correct?
Yes, because we don't have the delegation now. 6.1 is not able to attend.
Someone make that motion? Councilor Herman, Councilor Khan, any discussion? All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Number 3, adoption of minutes, 3.1, Councilor Torba, you want to do that one?
Yeah, I'll move that the minutes of the September 29th.
No, 3.1,
Yeah, 3.1.
September 9th.
That's what I said.
Oh, I
September
thought you said 29th.
9th. No, September 9th. 2025 regular meeting be adopted as presented.
seconded by Councilor Stevens. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Who wants to do 3.2, Councilor Stevens?
I move that the minutes of the September 16, 2025 special meeting be adopted as presented.
Seconded, Councilor Herman. Any discussion on that one? See none, all in favor? That's carried. 4, no public hearings. 5, public input on current agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the gallery to provide input on items on this agenda. Is there anyone in the gallery or on Zoom that wishes to provide input on items on this agenda? I see one. Please go ahead, just state your name and address, please.
Carolyn Parsons, 813 Okanagan Ave. As someone who's been connected to and has a good relationship with First Nations since I moved here in 2016, and I'm very supportive of them, all 3. I'm a bit concerned about this item that has got stalled, the artwork to be on the wall of the curling rink. I think the crosswalk in view of the Every Child Matters was a really good step in the right direction, a positive undertaking. And this artwork sounds something similar. I have a question. How did the wall get painted the incorrect color? Who was overseeing the painting of it? It now needs to be corrected and painted differently, or a slightly different color, at a cost of $1,500. Perhaps and I believe the village paid for the first painting of it. Perhaps that additional $1,500 could be divided in half, but with the society or perhaps the indigenous community plus the society plus the village. But I do hope that this comes to fruition. I think it's important to recognize our First Nations neighbors within the village of Chase.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else from anybody? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. Number 6, that's being removed. Number 7, reports. Does anybody on council have any questions on any of the reports?
Yes, I do.
Councillor Coniff?
Oh, thank you. And, it's on First Avenue. I think those guys did a great job, like paving and the work, I think, and a very nice bunch of guys. The only thing bitch I got about is that bogus piece of shit on Haldane, they've got bricks in there, eh? You make a right-hand turn, you're driving up in the sidewalk in that. Or I'm out in the other lane in that. It sticks way out. That's my only complaint. I think next council that's in here, and there's other plans, I hope that next council goes through all that stuff and can see it. I don't know what that little bit of extra stuff costs, but it's a joke. That's my bitch.
Okay, thank you very much. Besides that, when I look at that project, wow, what a game changer for that street. Very nice. Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, I noticed in regards to the First Avenue as well, we're missing a crosswalk on the other side of the street between Pine Street and First Ave, so that goes into the cul-de-sac. So like I walk that every day, and I thought they would have put one in there, but they don't, and it is on the sidewalk side there. We do need a crosswalk on that side for pedestrians.
Whereabouts are you, because you come along the tracks, there is one farther along that ties up with the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's the one right between, like, you go into the cul-de-sac on First Ave, and then you cross First Ave while you're walking, like perpendicular to Pine Street, and you're walking, I guess, towards the community hall on the right side. There is no crosswalk there.
Does staff know what area we're talking about?
So if you're walking to the community hall, it's on the right.
Yeah.
Before-
You're walking along the park and
That's
you're
right.
gonna go hit.
Sure.
Yeah, there always was a crosswalk.
Yeah, there was, and then when they removed the pavement for repave, and they just didn't replace it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Anything else? Anything from staff? No? Motion to receive for information, Councillor Stevens, Councillor Torban. Any more discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.1 Development Procedures Bylaw, number 956, 2025. The bylaw has received first, second, and third reading. Council may now adopt the bylaws. Is there anything staff wishes to add to this? No? Okay, here's a recommendation there. Does someone, Councillor Torban?
I'll move that the Village of Chase Development Procedures Bylaw be adopted.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Stevens. That's 956, 2025.
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? It's carried. 8.2, Chase and Area Family Services, Chase Curling Club Building. We've got a report from the Director of Corporate Operations and a letter from the Executive Director of Chase and Area Family Services. just wanna leave it up to us, or does the staff wanna comment on any of this first? Or
No, I think so, unless there's
Maybe-
any questions of council.
okay, so who wants to tackle this one? Counselor Herman?
So, are we doing them each individually then?
We can do whatever you like, you,
Okay, so
Making
but
a
we have to
motion.
make a motion and then,
They've been broken out individually.
right, so individually.
They're not tied together.
Right, okay, thank you. I move that council provide direction on permissions to install the Secwepemc artwork on the Chase Curling Club building. Is that what you want to discuss first then?
Or are you,
Because we
are
did-
you actually permitting it then? Are you suggesting that if you permit it?
I have to make the motion so we can have discussion, right?
Okay.
do we have a seconder? Counselor Khanna, okay, we'll go to discussion.
Okay, I'll go first.
Counselor Herman,
I'm gonna be really honest here, I feel like this is an important project to me, and I'm in favor of it. I feel like there was quite a bit of miscommunication, in amongst this, to getting this done. First it was a mural, then it all of a sudden turned into a sculpture with not much, reporting back to us. It was never discussed, it was never brought forward as a motion, whether we were going to support it or not. So I feel like there's been some things that have been miscommunicated or not communicated, maybe on our part, maybe on theirs. But on the whole, I think that we should be going ahead with it. I don't have a problem with the wording, and I'll talk about the rest of it when we get to those, I guess, so.
anybody else?
Yeah,
Counselor
I
Khanna?
agree with Jane, but if you're gonna put that on the wall, what does it mean? I mean, there's lots of people, it's all good and grand to say, oh yeah, we gotta do something, but when people are walking by, say, what is it? What does it mean? Because we sure as hell don't know. And what's the murals? What is it? Nobody's just gonna start painting on something, or maybe council should know what they are painting.
Can I just comment on
Yeah.
the girls? I think-
Counselor, yeah,
I think that was where we were under the impression there was going to be a mural on that wall, or I was. Somewhere in the line it changed to that sculpture. So I think that's what we're talking about right now, is the sculpture, not a mural. As far as I know, there's no other plans to do a mural on that wall.
They do have a mural on the retaining wall, and it looks beautiful, it looks really nice.
So that was a different project altogether.
Yeah. But this, I'm sorry, it sure as hell doesn't to me look like a piece of art. It really does, I don't know what it means.
one of my questions is, has the curling club been involved in, does anybody know if the curling club has been involved in any of this? Yes,
It's our understanding that the curling club was first to offer permissions and agreed to move ahead with this. That's
okay, thank you.
Okay.
So,
Can I just say one more
yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Yeah, so on that note, if the curling club has already okayed it somewhat, then, I think that we will, probably have, or we should go ahead with it. I don't know about the timing and all of that, and just so you know, it does say in here somewhere on what it did say, and it was our land forever and ever, I think it was. Yeah, or just says forever and ever in Secwepemc. So, and I think that there will be probably signage for that, to let you know what it says, just like there are at the food forest and the other. So I'm sure that will be, anyways, so people will know, or they will ask, I would think. Okay, that's all.
just wondering, I'm gonna ask staff how all these three things, like we haven't, all we've made is a motion to provide direction on permission, where we, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I've added confusion to these recommendations by framing them in the way of a resolution. I think if Councillor Herman made a friendly amendment to her own recommendation to remove direction on, so that it reads that council provide permission to install the artwork on the Chase Curling Club building, then that's actually a positive resolution that council could vote on.
Okay, I move that council provide, or give permission to install the Sequemic artwork on the Chase Curling Club building. Can I add to that about timing and whatnot? How do I do that?
Well, maybe we can do one thing at a time, or what? I'm just asking staff.
It's up to Councillor Herman.
Yeah,
She's
so-
making the motion.
Could I say, I don't know how to word it, like, I say that we should give permission, based on, the, how to say it, working with the committee to come up with a time. I think we're kind of running out of time right now, but, I don't know.
Do you
Well, I
mind?
think if you give permission,
Yeah.
if you make that motion to give
And then
permission,
we can work on the next.
yeah, that time part doesn't really matter, because you can do it anytime.
Okay, so I make the motion that we, give permission to install this equipment artwork on the Chase Curling
So-
Club building.
This is an amendment, staff, or what?
It's a friendly amendment. She made the motion and made a small friendly amendment to her own motion, so it's not an amended motion.
Can I ask one more question on this?
Yes, Councillor Con.
What's it costing the taxpayers?
Well, for giving permission, it doesn't cost anything.
No, but
Well,
still,
I think the plan is to deal with that later on, is it, staff?
Yeah, we deal with that later on.
Right now, we're just gonna give permission to install it. All the motion,
and this is all they're putting on it.
well, right now, the motion reads that we provide permissions to install the Chiquetin artwork on the current club building. That's what's before us right now. So we can put that to the vote and then continue?
Yep.
Okay, so all in favor with that one? We had a seconder. Okay.
Okay.
4 opposed. Okay, 4-1, Councillor Coniff. You're opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now staff is wanting more direction, are you? The second one? More corporate officer, you're looking for more
That's right.
direction?
That's right, we're looking for direction from council on the unveiling event. So it's, Ashton Sweetnam has, talked about it in her letter, about having an unveiling event, and she's asking the village if they want to, sort of take that on. And she's come up with, you know, what that might look like, and, just wondering if the village wants to own it, or they want to share the responsibility, or if they just want to turn it down and let these other groups do the unveiling. So there's choices.
Who wants to tackle that one?
I'll
Councillor Torban?
just make the motion that we leave the unveiling event to the CAS. Simply because they're the ones doing the artwork and everything, and they know when they're doing it, and they can organize that easier without having us interfere with them.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that one? Councillor Coniff, discussion? Was he in favor? Oh,
No.
Councillor.
I would like to actually change, like, I agree a bit, but I think the village should have some part in the unveiling of it. So could we say with guidance and like joining them with collaboratively or something?
We would be there anyways.
Yeah, but helping organize it so that,
Keep our noses out of it. Ashton knows what she's doing.
well, I know she does.
I'd say we just keep our noses out of it.
So,
Let her look at it.
And the motion right now, Councillor Torban made was just to leave it up to CAF to put the event on, is that what you're
Yes.
saying? And that was seconded, so,
Can I say
Yeah,
one with it?
yeah.
I feel like we should be involved in that ceremony as well, and that should be something that we take on.
so my discussion, I think maybe CAF would get back to us and involve us, I think,
We would still be involved.
I think they would
Okay,
anyway.
okay,
Yeah.
so you just said leave, the motion is leave
Give it up to CAF to make the arrangements, but we would collaborate with them. Yeah, but that would keep it simple, because they're doing the artwork and everything anyways.
So, I'm just gonna get, yes,
I'll read the motion as best that I understand it to be. It's that council defer the organization for unveiling of the artwork to CAFS.
is that what
Yeah.
you meant, Councillor Torban, and Councillor Conitt, you seconded it?
Yes.
Any more discussion?
Yeah,
Councillor
I think
Stevens?
we should have a part in it as well. I think we should definitely show our backing, our support for this project. Whether that's in a monetary amount or, providing some, event coordinating, organizing, and whether we choose to speak at that event as well. I think this is important. I think it's important that we have a part to play there, and I think we should, in my opinion, do more than just leave it up to CAFS to organize it and then chase us down. I think we can show ourselves as leaders, and we can actually lead this unveiling event. It's not like it's a week-long thing. It's an art unveiling where, you know, we can connect with the partners, like our partners that are right on our doorstep, and continue to show that, you know, we are partners. So I think it's important that we do have a part to play in the coordinating of the event, and I actually am of the opinion that we should coordinate the whole event.
So I'm looking at the motion as it's written. Maybe, the way it's written, that the Village of Chase being involved somehow in the coordinating, I like Councillor Torban, like it's simple. And I think we'd be involved, I'm pretty sure we'd be involved anyway in the event. But is council looking at actually having that in the motion?
Yes.
Councillor Torban?
The motion is already on the floor, it's already been seconded.
That's right, so now we're discussing.
And
So you're, what,
take it or.
everything else is just for discussion
Yeah, that's right,
on that motion.
that's right.
Okay, so do that option.
Yeah. So we have to deal with the motion first.
Okay, so we'll read the motion one more time, please.
That council defer the organization of the unveiling ceremony of this artwork to CAFS.
Okay, so all in favor? Against? Okay, that's carried. 3-2.
That's a lot.
And then, I think that was a good result. And then there's an issue with paying for something, is there? I'm asking
Just walk
staff.
out now.
There's an issue paying? There's gonna be a cost involved? Is that what we're looking for? Staff? There's gonna be-
Sorry,
Sorry, that's me.
uh,
There's gonna be cost involved in this?
well, with respect to the painting of the Curling Club building, there's a little bit of history in the agenda. The village was asked to paint the wall white, and so we hired this company that was qualified with sandblasting and painting, and they provided 2 coats of white paint. And then at the 11th hour, it was determined by CAFS that the paint was too bright. It was, so there was sort of a scramble to come up with a more of a neutral color that would work with the artwork. And so based on the costs and an estimate to have that 3rd coat of that off-white color was going to be $1,500. But we've exhausted our 2025 budget for the curling club. So that's why the recommendation is that, for a couple of reasons, is that CAFS to pay for that 3rd coat.
Okay, so I would move that the village cover the $1,500. Is that what's needed for that? Do you have a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second.
Councillor Stevens, discussion?
I mean, I think if we're not gonna play a part in their event, then I think it's the least we can do.
Well, what, okay, yes, Councillor Torban?
Just a question, like with the paint, what's wrong with the paint that's on there, that can't be painted over that, or why does it have to be a certain kind of paint? Like, just because they're not happy with it,
It's not about a certain type of paint, it's the color.
and they can't pay over.
Originally, it can be painted over, yes. Originally, it was requested that you do white, so we said, sure, we'll do a white.
And we did white?
Yep.
And that's what was requested, and it's the wrong color? What color is it supposed to be? Or what?
Yellow,
Something not so white, I guess.
but they're putting, this seems to
Hey,
be
Councillor
black and white. I mean, you think it would stick out?
No, I just don't understand why, if the white is the background that you need, why do you have to paint it again? Like, that to me sounds like a waste of money.
After hearing from Councillor Stevens, I wouldn't mind amending my motion if it's okay that we contribute the $1,500 to the painting and $200 to the unveiling event. If I can amend my motion to that. Might help with it. Yes,
If permitting Councillor Stevens agrees to.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Okay. That's carried, 3-2. 9.1 permissive tax. 9.1 permissive tax exemption bylaw number 957. I missed one, thank you. That's what someone, I checked the wrong one. 8.3 UBCM funding application fire smart coordinator. Report from the CAO. Is there anything else the CAO wishes to add?
No, Mr. Mayor, I think the report's relatively straightforward. It includes all of the things that we want to carry on with and additional things that have been identified that we could get funding for in years 2 and 3 if we are successful, which we're pretty comfortable we will.
Okay, so there's the record. Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, excuse me, I move that council supports the application for 2 years funding through UBCM's Community Resiliency and Funding Program for the Village of Chase Fire Smart Program, and that the Village of Chase agrees to provide overall grant management for the program.
Seconded by Councillor Herman. Discussion?
I think one of the nice
Councillor
things about
Stevens?
this grant is that, there is an opportunity for like admin fees to go into this grant, which covers staff time to administer the grant, so there really is no like overhead for the Village of Chase. And like the CAO just mentioned, they feel good about, being recipients of the grant, and I know that this grant is generally not, turned down to community. It's actually encouraged to community. So unless you have outstanding projects and whatnot, which we don't, you generally get the funding every time. So this is great. And it also further goes to training and some of the other things I've spoken about before in here about the structure protection unit and whatnot. So yeah, this gets us right up to year 3 for that. So it's great.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
And
Councillor
it
Conish?
shows that we're trying to do something.
Totally.
Yeah.
We have a good foundation right now.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, so none, all in favor? Now it's carried unanimously. Now we're on to 9 new business. 9.1 permissive tax exemption bylaw. 957, 2025. There's a report from the CFO. Is there anything that the CFO wishes to comment on first?
I just did a couple slides here quickly to show you guys what we have this year coming up. So the permissive tax exemptions, this is only for properties that are not churches. So I don't know if you recall, a couple years ago, we did a permissive tax exemption for the church lands to be exempt for 4 years. The rest of the properties within the village that we give exemptions to, we set it for a 2-year timeline, which worked out really well because we didn't have to deal with didn't have to keep bringing this back. So this request today is again for another 2 years, and it's for these facilities that we've got listed on the screen here. Our senior centers apply, the Lions RV Park, the Chamber of Commerce, the museum, the Legion, and our curling club and golf facilities. So yeah, if you wanna carry on. these exemptions are what we call permissive exemptions. So council has the authority to say yes or say no to any of these exemptions. Generally, if council wanted to do something different than what we've done in the past, I would suggest that we set something up by policy so that we are consistent from year to year if council wishes to change anything. But at this point, it's just status quo as what we've done in the past. So all of these organizations that have come forward, we've just, I put them into the bylaw, and it's up to council to decide if we continue with them. So again, this is what I just said, council has the authority to exempt these properties and change them if they wish at any point in time. And we have to do that by bylaw. This bylaw has to be adopted by the end of October in order to get it to BC assessment so that they assess it as exempt property properly. And then last one. This is, there was an article that went out in the Sunflower this week, just letting people know that this is the exemptions that we're bringing forward to council today. So the total exemption for these facilities for next year will be roughly about 34,000 and then 35,000 in 2027. So. Any questions?
Good. Oh, County, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I have
Councilor
one
Stevens.
question. So, exemption policy, is that something we can set, like, as a current council, like, anytime, to also loop in churches? Or are we just specifically talking about the
No,
ones on the board
Here
here?
it already includes churches.
It could be whatever you want it to be. Churches are already statutorily exempt for the building and the land under the building. We do an additional exemption for the parking lots and if they have any other facilities on their lands.
Right, yeah, because I would like to collect that money from their lands and facilities. Okay, thank you.
But we're not dealing with any of the churches at this time.
No, that's right. I was
Because,
just-
no, I'm gonna ask, because,
We did a 4-year exemption for churches, back when council was new. So when both of these, bylaws will come up for renewal in 2027, we'll bring it back to council for the 2028 year. And we could set a policy in the meantime to recognize something different if you wish for the next 2028 year.
Sure. Okay, I'll leave my discussion for that time then.
okay, so there is a recommendation there. Councilor Torban,
I'll move that the permissive tax exemption bylaw number 957, 2025 be given first 3 readings.
seconded by Councilor Stevens. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. 9.2, unsightly property, 950 Bissett Road. There's a report from the corporate officer. And is there anything you wish to add, corporate officer?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. I've got just a brief PowerPoint with some pictures. So this is. Sure. .950 Bissett Road, commonly referred to as the Shaughnessy property. So this has been under our purview in bylaw enforcement for probably more than 6 years, but I'm sort of using the last 6 years as an example. You can advance, Mike. So the property is zoned recreational commercial. They can only use that land for golf course. It previously had a land use of RV park, and that was stripped from them in, I'm gonna say 2005 or so. And so the only use they have right now is golf course only. And the property continues to be in violation of our property maintenance bylaw. It is continually on and off in compliance with the amount of vegetative growth. So You're allowed to have grass or any kind of vegetative growth up to 30 centimeters in height. Anything above that is in violation. And typically we wouldn't enforce that, but we are complaint-based. So we regularly receive complaints on this property. It's probably the single most complained about property that I see across my desk. And there's a pattern. So the pattern is basically the owners cut it twice a year, but it's always too late. It's always after it should be cut. So I worked with the owner on through phone calls over the last number of years, just to encourage them just to back it up a little bit. Just have your schedule laid out in such a way that you're just getting ahead of your vegetative growth going into non-compliance. And it's just fallen on deaf ears. So it's resulted in where we are today, which is in order to comply in the demand order and the recommendation that council direct us to hire a contractor that would look after that property. And they would bill us and we'd forward the bill onto the owner. And then if they didn't pay it, it would just go onto their taxes. It's pretty seamless. And a little bit surprised there's not a representative here in the room or on Zoom. They did receive the demand notice inviting them to come here because they have an opportunity to be heard and to speak up for their situation. Maybe there's some circumstances that we're not familiar with that maybe council would be interested in hearing from them. So they're not here. The other side of this is that this is mostly performative at this point anyways, but I really want council to be sort of versed and updated on this property because most likely it's going to come back in 2026. The reason I say it's performative is because it probably doesn't need cutting again this year. You know, this isn't forever and ever. This resolution, should council choose to proceed with it, they're time limited, so we're gonna have to do a new one in the spring. So this is a practice. Next slide. So just some pictures that we've taken because what happens, we get a complaint and then we have to dispatch bylaw. They go out there, they assess the property, they have to take pictures, they do measurements. It all comes back to me, I build a file, we phone the owner, we email the owner, we write letters, we have to do order complies, send them by registered mail. This all takes time away from other things. And we're babysitting this ownership group of this property. And the simplest solution is just to take control of it. And that it's really simple because we would just have the contractor that we would hire monthly go in there and look after it, maintain it every month, and there would be no issues. It'd be really simple. So you can keep sliding through. There's just a bunch of pictures that just show various states.
I think I see Fred's golf operable.
You can just go through, yeah, just some pictures of how it looks here and there. These are from last year. Yeah, you can go to the community charter page. So this is council's powers and authorities to deal with nuisances. That's pretty common practice. And council's actually done this before, so this isn't new to council. Can you go to the next one, Mike, please? Just a bit of our chronology, and I've only chronicled the last 2 years. So you can see the complaints start coming in April, and then, you know, there's a bunch of, paperwork and phone calls and what have you, and then suddenly it gets cut. And then, so in May, there was satisfactory compliance achieved. And then we did it again in June, and then it was magically cut at some point, and then September. So it's just a cycle, and so that's 2024. You go to the next page, Mike, please. And that's this year. So it's just a pattern that repeats. And yeah, so over to you. Thank you.
Well,
Okay, thank you, Councillor Torbaum.
they've complied with it again, they've cut it again. Yeah, just so you know.
There's still at least 3 areas that aren't in compliance.
Also, so it's a good idea to make this motion then, because there's still 3 areas that are not in compliance.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, does someone want to make that
It's
recommendation?
just,
We can go to discussion, yeah.
oh, okay.
If you-
No, we have to make the
That's what, yeah,
motion first.
that's right, that's right. So would someone want to make that Counselor Herman?
I move that council authorize its employees and or others to enter in effect the removal of the offending vegetation. The charges for doing so if unpaid on December 31st of this year shall be added to and from and form part of the taxes available in respect of the real property in question as taxes in arrears.
Do I have a seconder, Counselor Stevens? Now, discussion, Counselor Coniff?
Who do we contact with this property and that? Is there, I heard that that guy's a bit of a hard head. Is there somebody else that we can,
Well, it's Gary Gray then.
but did,
Okay, so he's asking staff.
but who owns that thing? He's just a representative of the property and that.
Yes, corporate.
Through Mr. Mayor, Councillor Coniff. So when we send correspondence, official correspondence, like the order to comply, we send it to the registered owner through registered mail. And all it says on, it's a numbered company, but it's also, DBA Shaughnessy Properties Limited. So that's who we send it to. Who picks it up, we really can't determine, but typically it's Gary Gray. He's one of the shareholders, one of the owners. And so, and he's the one that we also talked to in email about having the property maintained.
Okay, anything else, Counselor Coniff?
No,
Anybody else? Any more, Counselor Stevens?
Is there a way we can have the contractor cut it to 29 inches, and then for every single day that he's over the 30-inch threshold, we can
29
fine them
inches.
$75 per day? Like, it costs, like, and we see on the list, staff time, registered mail, like the amount of times we've probably sent registered mail probably outweighs the $75 that he's gonna get fined. I think this is a conversation property that we need to have further discussion of, as a council, but, yeah, I mean, it's totally unsightful. I'm sure there's ticks down there in the spring. Flashy fuel season is, March, April, everything dries out, and if we have overgrowth down there, the fire's gonna rip right up into the backyards of a lot of those houses, into wood fencing that connects back to houses, and we could absolutely lose a neighborhood over just something so minuscule. I think this guy, or this property rather, needs to really get it together, and they should be ashamed of the state that it's in. But that's just my comments.
Do you have a reply to that, corporate officer? Like, do we have to wait for a complaint and then act? Or somebody's continually not acting? Can we, like Councillor Stevens is like kind of alluding to a little more proactive, so it'd just be automatic that once they're over, we go in for, yes?
So, Mr. Mayor, so unless there's a change to our bylaw enforcement policy, this is how we proceed.
So we could look into, if council wishes something to change the, what bylaw was that?
So it's a bylaw enforcement policy.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I
Councillor,
think Dan is right on. I mean, maybe 29 inches, it's probably 30. But yeah, give him it gets not just, that it's gotta be scalped to the bottom of that.
Councillor Dorbon and Councillor Herman.
It's not 29 inches, it's 30 centimeters.
No,
Oh, 30 centimeters.
29 inches is pretty high.
Yeah, that's a couple feet, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's one of those things, I think we just make the motion and approve it. We can give them one last opportunity to say, cut it once a month, regardless. If you don't do it, then we'll do it for you.
Yep.
Instead of going back and forth.
Councillor Herman.
I was just gonna say the same thing, like, I think what we're asking here for is, like, if he doesn't do that, then we revisit it and make it more punitive. I don't know, I'm just charging him if he doesn't cut it, so.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Anything else?
Well, we haven't made the motion.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Councillor
I
Herman.
read it.
Oh,
And it was seconded by Councillor
Stevens.
Stevens?
Yeah.
Any more discussion? Okay, good. All in favor? It's carried unanimously. Number 10, notice of motion. Any notice of motions? Don't see any hands going up. Number 11, in camera, there's a recommendation there. Does someone want to, Councillor Stevens, you want to read that one?
Yeah, I move that council recess to an in-camera meeting pursuant to section 90, bracket 1, bracket E, the acquisition, disposition, and expropriation of land or improvements if the council considers that the disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality, and section 90, bracket 1, bracket G, litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality.
Seconded. Councillor Torvon, all in favor? Carried. We'll go in camera. We'll take